I'm going to start off my speech with a poem by Shel Silverstein called Jimmy Jett and His TV Set. I'll tell you the story of Jimmy Jett, and you know what I tell you is true. He loved to watch his TV set almost as much as you. He watched all day, he watched all night, till he grew pale and lean. From the early show to the late night show and all the shows between. He watched till his eyes were frozen wide and his bottom grew in his chair, and his chin turned into a tuning dial, and antenna grew out of his hair. And his brains turned into TV tubes, and his face to a TV screen, and tune-ups sang Bert and Horizon grew where his ears had been. And he grew a plug that looked like a tell, so we plugged in Little Jim. And now instead of him watching TV, we all sit around and watch him. So basically, I use the poem just kind of to show like how TV can just become children's lives, and TV is really becoming like a big part of children's lives, like as they're watching it more and more, because children ages 6 and under, they spend an average of 2 hours a day watching TV, and children ages 7 to teens, they spend an average of 4 hours a day watching TV. So my claim is that television has a negative impact on children. And the 3 points that I'm going to make are that television negatively affects brain development, television is unhealthy, and television inhibits creativity. So my first point, that television negatively affects brain development. The American Academy of Pediatrics has done a study that's shown that young children who watch television, they're more likely to develop attention deficit disorder by the age of 7. Because their brain, it gets really used to the fast pace of TV and like the flashing images on the screen. So then when they're not watching TV, everything's like really slow, and then their brain's just not used to that pace. So then they often have trouble in school and just like focusing and everything. And the Department of Education, it says that television is harmful to a child's language skills because they need to develop them through conversation, reading, and playing with other kids. And TV doesn't require any interaction at all, and social interaction is really critical to brain development. And television, it also replaces reading, and reading is like a really good way for a child to develop their brain. And kids with families who always have the TV on, they're less likely to spend time reading, and a lot of them are less likely to even be able to read at all. And so my second point, that television is unhealthy. 1 out of 3 U.S. children are considered to be obese, and 1 out of 4 Canadian children are considered to be obese. And TV is a big factor that's contributing to the increased childhood obesity, and it's an even bigger factor than diet. And if you think about that, that's kind of a big thing because food is like what you would think would be the main contributor to being obese. But the University of Michigan researchers, they found that children ages 3 to 4.5, they have a higher risk of being obese just by being awake in a room with a TV for 2 or more hours a day. And also television is making children lazy, and they're not wanting to exercise because they just want to watch TV, and then like they'll get caught up in their shows, so they don't want to like turn the TV off. And exercise is like, again, one of the important things to being healthy. And TV, it also encourages unhealthy eating habits because most of the food products that are marketed to children through commercials, they're high in total calories, sugars, salt, fat, and they're low in nutrients. And the Canadian Pediatric Society says that most advertisement for foods on kids' TV shows is for fast food, candy, and pre-sweetened cereals. And a lot of kids are they're eating snacks while they're watching TV. Mostly it's like the bad snacks that have been advertised to them on TV, and then they're just sitting there eating and not getting any exercise, so it's really unhealthy. And TV watching is also giving them sleep problems, which is a very important part to the child's health. And then my third point is that television inhibits creativity because children need to be outside, they need to be playing with other kids, they need to play sports, they should learn an instrument, or they should even just read to be able to like build up their imagination. But TV impairs their imagination because the shows that they're watching, they're thought of by other people, and they don't require any input from the children at all. And the children, there's no participation for them. They just sit there and watch the show. And often when they're playing outside with their friends, they're just acting out scenes from TV shows that they've seen instead of like using their imagination to think up of their own stories and come up with their own ideas. And it's really just a waste of time because it doesn't allow them to be productive at all. And children are the future of society, and one day they're going to lead us. So we should really think about it, about letting them watch TV, because do we really want leaders who have like ADD, who have language problems, who are obese and unhealthy and who can't use their imagination. Like, that's not the kind of leader that I would want leading me. So that's why I think television has a negative impact on children.